All right, y'all leading off. We got defensive end Mike Green, 9 tackles, 1.5 sacks last week.
Obviously, Mike, you look at what you were able to do, well, now you have some film. How do you take that and adjust and grow from week 1 to week 2, this week?
We didn't really know what Stony Brook would end up doing. We were kind of going in there blindly, so we just had to make sure that we had all of our alignments and our keys and everything dialed in. So I think going into this week, we're more on preparing on their strategy and their plan, and that's what we're game planning off of. And I feel like that's going to help us towards this game.
I know it is a small sample size, but what do you see from those guys when you look at them?
They're big, of course. P4 guys. They got some speed to them. They're strong. So I just think that they're gonna have a little bit more of a competitive advantage than like a team like Stony Brook. So we're gonna have to go out there with a different kind of mentality. We can't just go out there with we're bigger and stronger and faster than these guys. We've got to go out there with a strategy and game plan them correctly.
Obviously, being a former Power 5 guy yourself, you've played in some big arenas, but what do you know about the environment at Lane Stadium, and just kind of what do you anticipate, that mentality going into that environment, Mike?
Yeah, so when I was at Virginia, we played Tech, but we played them at UVA. I didn't get the chance to go to Tech and play them at Tech. I know that their stadium gets loud, so we're gonna have to be cautious, and we're gonna have to communicate if that has to be signal-wise or stuff like that. We're just gonna have to adjust to the type of environment that they have up there, and yeah.
For you, with that experience, are you talking to some of the other guys that maybe haven't had that opportunity to be in a venue like that, and maybe what to expect and how to handle that?
Yeah, of course. I probably had a few of them ask me between yesterday and today, what the environment is like and what they should be expecting and all that kind of stuff. I think the way football is now is that you can just compete against any level. You can compete against guys that played P4 that's now at G5 school and vice versa. And I think that with the competitiveness that we have going on now, it shapes players to play a different way.
When you look at their offense, obviously they bring a lot back, but they're a year older, a year wiser, a year more developed. How different do they look on film than they did last year when you were preparing for them?
So when I watched them yesterday, I see that they love to run with the quarterback. I feel like that's probably going to have to be somewhere in our game plan. I know that they're their experienced team only because they got, I think it was 90% of their starting returning, and I think simply it's just going to come down to execution and stuff like that because their guys they're experienced. They know what it's like to be on the big stage and things like that. So I think that we're just going to have to go out there and compete the way we're supposed to be competing.
When you look back at the film, what do you think that defensively you guys did well? Because obviously that's the first time you've seen yourself on film in a game time situation. What do you think you guys did well as a unit, and where do you think you need to improve?
I think overall we went out there with a little chip on our shoulder only because of how expected we are to be in our ranking and in the Sun Belt Conference and everything like that. So we came out there with a chip on our shoulder. It wasn't a question about if we were playing physical or not. We of course got some things to clean up when it comes down to the schematical part of football and things like that. But besides that, I think we did pretty good.
Anything further from Mike? All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we got wide receiver Elijah Metcalf. 2 touchdowns in Saturday's game, and he might have a little bit of an interesting dynamic coming into this one as well. Who wants to lead up?
I know you talked about, a previous relationship you've had with one of Virginia Tech's players, but, when you go into a situation like that, obviously there's familiarity across college football, but, just how special do you anticipate, this weekend being with that in play, and explain that relationship?
Yeah, when I got to Middle Tennessee, my true freshman year, 2021, Jalen Lane, the slot receiver, he's my roommate, and we've been close ever since. That's my brother. We talk every day. So going into this game is definitely a little bit different feeling. Like it feels crazy. Like it just was like we both were at the same team, doing the same workouts, trying to get the same goal at one point, and now we're on the opposite sideline playing against each other. So we just talked last night. The crazy thing about it, just talking how crazy it is. So we both are excited for it, and I know I just got to make sure we get this dub because this is going to be ups for life. And I know if he get this one, he going to be talking this about his kids, his wife, and all that. So I just know I want this dub more than anybody on this team probably. So, but no, I'm excited for this weekend, and I know he is too. So
how much are you helping breaking him down? To everybody?
I'm just talking to him, just giving him how y'all looking this week, and just talking to him about the game plan and stuff. But it's just regular competition, man. I'm just ready for Saturday, ready for our guys, and I know we are just excited to go and play Virginia Tech. So I know I'm talking to him. I'm trying to talk trash to him a little bit, but I know it probably ain't phasing him. But just trying to do a little something.
So I know, again, limited sample size. You got one game, but what do you see when you look over there, Adam?
Just a fast, physical team. They played together last year. When you play with your brother last year, it's easy to look better the next following year. So I know those guys they're confident. I know that loss of Vanderbilt might have shook them up a little bit, but I know they're still confident. But so we just gonna have to bring our A game, and just like they are too. So we're just ready to go in there and compete Saturday.
Does anything specifically stand out on film to you from what they did defensively last week?
Just how they flew around to the ball. I know they might have missed some tackles here and there, but those guys flew around to the ball. Those guys got to the ball, and this week we're just going to have to be very dynamic in space and make those guys miss because they have a lot of guys that are big, fast, and long, and they can make plays.
Coach was kind of saying you had a limited playbook last week to kind of help you guys settle in and get into a rhythm. Do you think that approach helped? And just, how much more creative are you guys going to have to be offensively this week against, a much bigger opponent?
Yeah, I just feel like at the end of the day, it comes down to our fundamentals and what we do best. I feel like Coach this week is just going to find the right plays to call against his defense and make sure he gets the right guys the ball and make sure we just do what we do. I feel like when we do what we do, it really doesn't matter if we just call on a basic play because if you do it right, it can work. So just making sure we do what we're supposed to do this week, and I feel like everything will translate.
I know that I had asked you several weeks ago about what you thought that home opener might be like. Did your expectations live up to that reality?
Oh, it was great. It was a great home opener. I know it rained and some people left, but the build up to the game, seeing everybody there, and I think the biggest thing for me was seeing the impact after the game, seeing how much people really enjoy being there and watching us play and just performing in front of those fans, and it just felt like a family environment. So I enjoyed it. I really can't even wait till the next one. So I just know, just like the lap around the stadium, I've never done that before. So it was definitely a dope experience for me last weekend.
Obviously there's roster turnover in college football every single year. That's the nature of the game, and maybe even more so now with the transfer portal. But when you take the team on the road, that creates a unique experience to bond. This will be the first time you guys have been away from Huntington together.
Yeah.
Kind of take me behind the scenes as to how that helps a team grow.
Just like those hotel conversations and Friday night, like, hey, bro, I just want to make this play, and we all talking about it, and then you just know that the breakfast in the morning, talking at the table, all those things mean a lot because it's just like even this weekend I was telling everybody, I was like, hey, I'm going to do this celebration when I got up. So when I did it, it's more exciting because it's like, man, we just talked about this and we actually did it. So I just know it's going to be a lot of conversation about what we want to do and how we're going to do it, and then seeing guys going out there and performing is going to be great.
You could talk about the challenge of having three quarterbacks have standout performances. I know the playbook, again, was a little limited compared to what it could be, but you had three guys that are all competing for that starting job, and they go out there and they all perform well. And it's probably got to be challenging for you because you got to adjust to each one of them.
I wouldn't even say it's challenging. I feel like all summer, all spring, we've been working with all the guys. And so it was happy to see every guy go in there and step up. So I can speak. I won't speak for everybody else, but I know that everybody really was just happy to be in the jail in the mix, and all those guys look great this weekend. So I feel like it was no difference. Like all at the end of the day, we just got to do our job. We just got to catch the ball, run our routes, and I know all the quarterbacks gonna go in there and do what they're supposed to do.
No secret that Virginia Tech's tough at home against whoever they play.
Yes.
What's the biggest college football environment that you've played in, and how do you handle those emotions going into it, and just at the end of the day you have to tell yourself it's just a field, it's the same distance.
Yeah. I would say my true freshman year I did play at Tech. We played there, and it was rowdy. We played a 12 o'clock game, and it still was rocking like it was nighttime at 7 p.m. But last year we played Bama first game of the season, and that was yeah, I ain't gonna speak on that one, but just know it was loud and rowdy. But just like this weekend, we just gonna have to block out the noise and block out everybody else that's trying to root against us, and just make sure we do what we supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, it's just one big roar, and they just waiting for the excitement, and so we just focus on us and what we do. I promise you, we'll be all right.
All right, we got linebacker Landon Watson, 9 tackles last week.
Just start us out, just an easy one. How'd it feel to get out there finally and do what you did?
I got to give credit to obviously my teammates and my coaches for putting us in the position to be able to make those plays. But it felt good to be able to go out there and play against a different opponent. We've been working all summer and all camp, going against each other and hitting each other. So it felt good to go out there and hit a different opponent.
When you enter week one, obviously there's questions about what the opponent's going to do, how you guys are going to look like in a live game situation. Mm-hmm. How much did you learn about this defense and what they're capable of on Saturday night?
Yeah, I definitely learned that, everybody on defense, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the score, it's like we're still trying to build our identity. So that's what I felt like was big to me, seeing everybody playing for each other, everybody executing, everybody not trying to do too much, everybody just doing their job. It was exciting to see.
I know you got one sample size with Virginia Tech, limited film on those guys, but anything specifically that maybe stands out to what they're trying to do, what's going to be a challenge for you, when you see those guys on Saturday?
Well, yeah, like Mike Green said, they're big, they're physical, but I feel like up front we match up perfectly with them. We're big and physical as well, and we run to the ball. They have a lot of speed on offense, but we have a lot of speed on defense. So just it's going to come down to us, executing the call and basic fundamentals when it comes down to it.
Obviously, a good environment. It's going to be there Saturday. Mm-hmm. One of the toughest places to play in college football, but you've been in some of those big time arenas. Yeah. Is there a different? Is it harder to block out some of the noise leading up to some of those games, or does it come with experience? Once you do it, you kind of have a frame of how that works for you.
Yeah, well, obviously, whenever you kind of go to playing big games, you kind of get a feel for it, so you kind of get used to the noise level and the competitive nature of the game. So I feel like if we just go in and just worry about us and block out the outside noise and just work on the stuff that we need to work on in order to execute and win the game, I think we'll be fine.
So what do you see with the film on Virginia Tech? What kind of challenges do you see that they present to you guys this weekend?
Yeah, they're definitely a team that likes to run the quarterback. I played against Kyron in high school, and he was kind of the same way. But as far as offensively, they like to get their playmakers the ball in space and let them work. So I feel like it's just going to come down to us, how well we tackle fundamentally and how well we get them on the ground.
Coach was talking about, a lot of the guys that were heavy role players in beating Virginia Tech a year ago have moved on either to other universities or some in the NFL. But you were kind of one of those guys that didn't have a huge role in that game. Mm-hmm. Are you excited for that opportunity to go out there and perform on the big time stage?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to go out there and perform with my teammates. We're all happy for the same opportunity. We all get to play on a big national stage and be able to show what we've been working for all summer.
It's an almost kind of a weight off the shoulders having that first win out of the way. Does it relieve some of the pressure of going out there and perform and some of the anxiety about what might happen, and now you've gone out there and done it?
Yeah, well, first game obviously is pregame. You know, everybody's nervous a little bit, but once we go out there, you take that first snap, it's like kind of reverts back to like practice. You know, just being in the team run period, team force period. It kind of just goes back to that practice period. So having that first game out the way is pretty good. Being able to go back and watch the film and get the stuff corrected and get ready for the next week.
You talked about trying to develop that defensive identity. Any idea where that might lead to, and where do you guys need to improve defensively from week 1 to week 2?
I feel like schematically we all just got to keep working on everybody doing our job, not worrying about trying to make plays, just knowing that the plays will come. Our coach is going to put us in the right position to make the plays, and just everybody, just flying to the ball. We get 11 hats to the ball, and when the offense sees the whole defense running to the ball, it puts a lot of pressure on them.
Anybody individually stand out to you from their offense other than, Kyron, who you've had experience with?
Yeah, their running back. Yeah, their running back is a NFL prospect back, so we're going to have to do a good job tackling him, get him on the ground, and not letting him beat us, and not letting the quarterback beat us. Thank you.
Let the record show I got 5 likes out of 6 guys. There might have been one missing on that message yesterday. We got center Logan Osborne here.
You can talk to Ellen about how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Obviously a big challenge coming up this week. The environment's going to be tough, but just how excited are you to go out there for another week, having learned a little bit about yourself and the offense, going into that one with more knowledge about yourself, regardless of what the opponent might look like?
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. I think we're going to one of the best atmospheres in college football. I think we have one of the best traditions in college football. And just from what we learned about ourselves, I think we could be a really good offense. I think we're explosive. I think we got to start faster. That rain delay kind of helped us out, kind of calm down a little bit and kind of settle in and do our jobs. I think that's the biggest thing we got to focus on right now is just the fundamentals and doing our job.
What do you see from them with just one game, limited size, sample rate, but one game compared to last year? What do you see? Maybe it stands out. What are they maybe trying to do different? Anything maybe that they've thrown in that's new? Yeah, just what's your overall take on them?
I think scheme-wise they're just about the same, but they're extremely physical, and I think that's a big difference. This year they fly around to the ball like crazy. They're big, they're athletic. They're coached well to get to the ball. They might have had some missed tackles here and there, but their defense swarms. If one guy's not going to make the tackle, there's going to be a guy right by him that's going to make it. So I think they're coached extremely well of just giving great effort all the time. And I think when it's all said and done, they probably got a top 25 defense in the country.
Does that familiarity help you a little bit? Having some experience, previously, and then seeing what they're doing now. How much does that help you? I
think it helps for sure. I mean, it's the same way when you get into Sun Belt play. You kind of know every team's got a flavor of the week, of their scheme, and having that familiarity definitely helps you out because you know how you prepared last year for them, and you can kind of add some of those things you did from last year's performance.
When you look at the film from last week on you guys, offensive line did some good things in the running game. What were some of those things that you thought you did well? Obviously, a lot of new faces up front, but where is an area you thought that you guys were strong against Stony Brook?
I thought when we got our chances to run the ball, we were efficient. I thought we protected the passer. Not great, but good enough. I don't want him touched as an offensive lineman. I want him to come out with no scrapes or bruises, nothing. So, I think ways we could improve is just protecting the passer, communication, small little things. But overall, I think we're in a good spot. I think Coach Krill's got us coached very well right now. We're doing so much extra, from extra film, work on the field, to walkthroughs. We're going to be the most prepared group on the field, and he's made that very clear to us. So moving forward, I think the sky's the limit for us, really.
Does anybody in particular stand out on the defensive side for Virginia Tech as you're looking at film or breaking it down?
I think with their D-line, you could pick any one of them out. I think they're all great players. I think, looking at the film, they're explosive. They're DM52. He's probably one of the best pass rushers in college football right now. They're interior. They're strong. They're stout. And they get after it. Just from top to bottom, I think they're extremely athletic. Probably one of the most athletic defenses we're going to see. And, you can really throw them all in a hat and pick out one. They're going to be good players.
You kind of mentioned the slow start on Saturday, and and coming into game one, there's a lot of questions. They may look totally different than what you prepared for, but how important is that that fast start to this week, and how do you get there, eliminate some of the noise, and just go out there and focus on ball?
I think to start fast, you got to focus on yourself. We got to focus on us. We got to do our job, and to quiet that crowd in that first drive. We go out there and score points on that first drive and kind of calm the crowd down. I think it's going to be vital for us to win that game. We got to come out. We got to start fast. We got to show we can play. If they get too much momentum in the beginning, we can't let them pull away from us. We got to keep the fight close. So just starting fast will help us a lot in that game plan. Several
Offensive weapons. I mean, you guys got a chance to use a lot of different guys on Saturday. Just we've heard about the depth, but to be able to see it play out on the field, just how satisfying was that to watch guys go in and perform what they were and execute what they were asked to do.
Yeah, that was awesome because everyone here's worked their tail off, and for them everyone to go out there and get rewarded for that. I mean, that's something I haven't seen for a while. Those guys deserve to go out there and get rewarded. All the hours we put in the summer, working hard, running in the heat, it paid off for them. But we got to keep that thing going, and just continue to get those guys, in the game to get their opportunities.
How seamless did you think it was? You really didn't feel like there was a drop off. Someone else would come in. You really didn't have that. Is it pretty seamless? You think with a lot of those guys coming in?
Yeah, for sure. I think that just goes back to our coaching. Our coaches are doing a great job right now, just preparing everyone to play. And Coach Huff, he's emphasized that to us too. When you go in, you got to make sure your opportunities count. And I think a lot of guys did that Saturday. So, just going back to coaching, they got those guys ready to play.
Anything further for Logan? All right, thanks. Next, we got wide receiver Christian Fitzpatrick.
Got a chance to break one loose Saturday.
Yes,
a little bit of busted coverage, but to go out there and kind of get going the way you did. You were involved a lot in the passing game, obviously. Just just give me your evaluation from Saturday, and how do you go forward from here?
Yeah, it was just definitely it was good to just get my feet wet, and just as an offense as a whole, it was good. We just put in hours and hours. Even when we ain't scheduled to be up here. Just being up here early and getting extra throwing in and just brotherhood going. So it just feels good to see it all pay off on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do it for on Saturdays.
Now you've got a game week where you actually have some film on the opponent
Yes,
with the Virginia Tech, and I know it's just one game.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you see from them? What stands out? What's going to be the challenge for you this week going up against those guys?
Yeah, what I see is just some ball players. I don't really pay attention too much to names or accolades or it's good to see what a guy has done in the past, stats and stuff. But at the end of the day, we all just ball players. So I'm just excited to compete against just better athletes and everything like that, some bigger guys. But at the end of the day, it's just good competition, and ballers ball on Saturdays.
Obviously, a talented defense, fast guys in the secondary. You kind of look at that as a challenge, because you know what they can do, but you also know your strength as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I look at it. Yeah, I definitely look at it as a challenge, but not in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely you approach like when you really dive in and you prepare the way you're supposed to.
you approach the game, you know, with a strategy in mind. So, you know, like if I'm necessarily going against a smaller, fast guy, I know I'm gonna get physical with him this game and everything like that. And you know, I'm a pretty physical guy on Saturdays, so you know, I like to be felt on every play. So every play, I'm gonna make somebody work.
You know, what does Christian Fitzpatrick's pregame routine look like? How do you get in the zone? You know, walk me through where you are mentally on Saturdays leading up to the game.
On Saturdays, I like to keep it. I like to lock in, definitely focus up, but I like to keep it light. You know, I like to keep it light. I've been playing this game all my life, so you know, I don't like to make any moment too big. I like to stay in the moment and just, you know, enjoy what I've worked for. You know, what I'm about to do, I like to envision myself. I envision myself, you know, all day on a Saturday, on a Friday night. It's just all about, you know, just getting the job done.
You know, obviously a little bit limited playbook going into last Saturday just to kind of let you guys get your feet wet and get settled in. But, you know, there's parts of this offense that people haven't seen yet.
Yes, sir.
Just how exciting do you think this offense can be? And, you know, obviously expect to see a little bit more probably this weekend.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like the sky's the limit. We'll go as far as, you know, our execution goes. Coach Daggy, I feel like he's definitely a brilliant mind, and, you know, like, he's just as hungry as us to, you know, show the world what we got, show the world what he can do, you know what I'm saying? So we got his back. As long as we prepare the way we're supposed to prepare, you know, we should execute on a Saturday. So sky's the limit for sure.
A lot of different receivers got in the mix on Saturday. Several caught touchdowns. Does that just speak to the depth that we've heard about and you guys have talked about all year? And, you know, just it's one of those things, it's kind of like pick your poison.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And that wasn't just a game one Stony Brook type of deal. I feel like every guy in that receiver room who dresses on a Saturday has to come prepared to play and, you know, play meaningful snaps because we're such a deep room. You know, maybe places like I've been in the past, maybe you will see guys, you know, out there for so long it seems like that guy's exhausted, you know what I'm saying? No, we're going hard on every play. And if you need a tap, you need a tap. You need your teammate to come out there, you know, he's going to get the job done, you know what I'm saying? Because we really, like, believe in each other. So it's no selfishness going around. There's no too much weight on anybody's shoulders. You know, we all take the full responsibility in the room. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Christian. Next up, we got quarterback Braylon Braxton. I could have let him conduct the interview. It might have been, you know, he's done it before.
Yeah, I think every time you've been around the press conference, you've taken the mic, but I guess it's kind of hard to ask yourself the questions. You got the EGB award, Energy Generating Behaviors. AJ kind of talked about it, but and I think fans took notice of just kind of your attitude on Saturday, whether you were in the game or not. How contagious is that, you know, that behavior when you're constantly creating energy, dapping guys up on the sidelines, and you know, just how far does that go for team morale in a game?
You know, I feel like it goes real far. I was actually just recently introduced to EGB by Coach Huff. You know, we had a meeting a couple months back about it and just how to be a good teammate. But, you know, just looking back on my football career, I feel like I've always been an EGB guy. So I just feel like having great energy, having positive energy on the sideline is contagious to a team. You know, a game cannot be going your way and, you know, a guy make a big play and somebody on offense get hyped for somebody on defense and now we rolling. So I feel like positive energy on the sideline is everything to a team, and I feel like it can really change a game.
I'll go ahead and ask it. What would Braylon Braxton ask Braylon Braxton?
I would probably ask myself, what do you do to get prepared for the games? And to answer that question, I would say immense film study, you know, taking care of my body in the training room, getting extra throws with my receivers, whether that be in the morning or after practice. You know, just really preparing for the game like a pro. And, you know, I feel like if you prepare for this game the right way, you know, it'll treat you right. So just preparation, really.
You got an actual game with game film this week to prepare for with Virginia Tech, and I know it's just one film, but when you look at them, when you prepare for them, what stands out to you? Anything specifically, anything that maybe they do that, has caught your eye?
What stands out is they're a good-looking group of guys, They got good-looking football players, from the defensive line to the linebackers to their corners to their safeties, The secondary, they're big, long guys who run well, and I feel like they make plays on the ball. Those linebackers, they're good, a sideline bunch who make a lot of tackles, and they bring a lot of energy to their defense. And I feel like the strongest point of their defense is that defensive line. They got a lot of high motor guys, and I feel like that defense really just goes as that defensive line goes. And I feel like for us to be successful this week, we're going to have to find a way to nullify those guys up front.
Obviously, all three of you guys in the quarterback room got out there and had success on Saturday. When you're in that battle mode, you want to go show your strengths and show what you can do. And when you have three guys that go out there and do it, does that bring a lot of pride to everybody in the room?
I just really feel like it speaks volumes of how we were coached, throughout the week or since I've been here, since Stone's been here. It just speaks volumes of Coach Dagey. He's always prepared all of us like we're the guy. And there's no favoritism in that room. There's no anything like that. He coaches all of us the same way, and he prepares all of us the same way. I just really feel like it speaks volume to him and the way he does his job.
What are the biggest, rowdiest atmospheres you've played in, and is that exciting? And what's in your mind in terms of making sure communication's right, you don't get overhyped, all that kind of thing going to Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I feel like that's a big thing. I've been to some big places. In my freshman year at Tulsa, we traveled to Oklahoma State. The Oklahoma State Stadium, the stands are right here and the bench is right here, so you're hearing everything. They're like, hey. And then we also traveled to Ohio State my freshman year, to the Shoe. That was rowdy. This past season at Tulsa, we went to Washington, the national championship runner-up. So, the big stage is nothing. It's nothing new to me. I feel like I've been prepared for the big stage my whole life, and you always want to go out in the big stage and perform well. But this is definitely something new for me. I've never been to Virginia Tech. From what some of my teammates have told me, they got a great atmosphere out there. They got the Enter Sandman song. Everybody knows about that. But I feel like it just all comes down to our execution and preparation at the end of the day. And I don't feel like the stage is gonna get to us because we've been preparing for this stage since we got here. So.
When you look at them on defense, does anybody in particular stand out to you?
I would say number 44. Number 44, their field corner. He's a long guy, athletic guy. He runs well, and I also feel like he plays the game with a level of physicality that's kind of rare for corners to play with. I'm excited to play against him because I like playing against good players, and I like challenging good players because I know they're going to challenge me back. So I'm looking forward to that.
Got the game one jitters out of the way, maybe. How much more? Is there an added comfort level going into the second week of a college football season, knowing that you guys have a little bit more of an idea about what your identity is?
I wouldn't call it a comfort level. But I would say confidence level. Because we're never going to be comfortable as an offense. Like Coach Dagey said in our unit meeting yesterday. We had some north of 500 yards of offense, but I feel like we still left a lot of stuff out there on that field on Saturday. So just having confidence in what we do and knowing that we can only get better every single week is really exciting to know. And I think it's also scary for opposing teams to know that we putting up 500 yards and we still ain't even played our best football yet. So.
How are you, Stone, and Cole kind of pushing each other, in practice every single day of every single week? Just kind of take me behind the scenes about how you guys are trying to push one another to be better.
On that field, it's all business and it's competition all the time. But, off the field, they're my guys right there, Stone, Cole, Ja'Kai, Colin. I feel like we got a closely knit group of quarterbacks, we get to the hotel, we get in there, chop it up, get to talking about what we've seen throughout the week in our film study, just really just really bonding and having camaraderie with those guys. But no, on the field, I feel like we definitely push each other to be better every day, because if you don't come with your A game on one day, then you're gonna look way worse than the other guy, because they're bringing their A game. So I feel like it's a great thing we got going with three guys who can really play and really can push each other.
Got a chance to give Carl a ball too.
Oh, yeah,
I know
my
you
boy
guys came
Carl.
from Tulsa together, but
Yeah.
how special was that moment?
That was a big moment. Actually, I never threw Carl a touchdown at Tulsa, so that was good for us to connect and kind of bring that connection over here to Huntington, West Virginia. I feel like that was a big moment for me, and I know it was probably a big moment for Carl too. I know we were both excited and hyped up for that.
Braylon Braxton, this is Elijah Metcalf from Huntington Sports. Can you tell everybody what is your drip going to be for this weekend? Drip as in your accessories.
Well, I don't want to get in any trouble with Rodney, telling everyone what we're going to wear or anything, but I know me personally, I'm going to have on a white turtleneck. I'm going to have my white wristbands on, and I'm going to have my white cleats with my white spad. I like to keep it simple,
Nice.
So that's it.
Nice, Braylon. Nice.
Anything further?
We're good. Keep all of that.
I certainly appreciate you looking out for branding and what's to come this way. Whenever I
Appreciate
heard it, I was
y'all.
like, oh.